Welcome to another edition of Bowie TV Sports Spotlight. During this hour, we're bringing you highlights from our shows focused on all things sports in the DMV. Please be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. First, on Pitt Sports Zone, Delaware State Assistant Athletic Director of Media Relations and Senior Women Administrator Tiana Cephers shares her journey through sports. On Baltimore Ravens Rundown, we take a look at highlights and press conferences from their first practice after their bye week. Lastly, we catch up with Candi Waller on Coaching from the Couch for game highlights and behind-the-scenes footage from the Washington Commanders' Week 7 loss against the Dallas Cowboys. Don't go anywhere, and as always, enjoy this week's episode of Bowie TV's Sports Spotlight. What's going on, everybody? You know what it is, man. It's your boy Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live yet again. Yes, it's me. I'm back. But this time, we are kicking off our Women in Sports HBCU edition. And who else? And started off with Tiana Cephers, Delaware State University Assistant Athletic Director of Media Relations. That is a mouthful. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and to add to that mouthful, I'm also the Senior Woman Administrator.
See, even she knew it was a mouthful because she said to add to that mouthful, which means that she's probably said that before, like, ooh, child, we need some acronyms.
Yeah, I do.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. One of the things, and I'll just briefly, one of the things or the reason and the platforms of why, Pits and Push was started was to be a resource to students who are not aware, may not have all the information when it pertains to HBCUs, because I'm from Pittsburgh. We don't have HBCUs in Pittsburgh. I didn't learn about HBCUs until I moved here to the Maryland area. And, also to basically combat the narrative that a lot of people who's never attended HBCUs or never stepped foot on HBCUs, they always have a narrative that is not contrary to everything that we stand for. So, instead of arguing with them online, decided to go ahead and give us a voice. And I definitely thank you for taking this time, because women in sports is one of the most important, because listen, y'all do a lot that a lot of people don't see and that you don't get credit for. And I want to give you your acknowledgments of the achievements and the accolades that you have done thus far, and so many more to come.
Well, I appreciate that. Just speaking on your HBCU, why you started this, I love it. I went to HBCU, and I worked in nothing but HBCU since I started my career. And people often ask me, why are you still in HBCUs? Like, haven't you had enough? Or isn't it the same everywhere you go? And I have friends who have actually gotten out of HBCUs and working at PWIs, and they're like, I'm never going back. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have had the thought, before I got this job, like, let me go work at a PWI. Let me see what it's all about. And my mom actually, stop saying that. Because let her tell it. And if it's good, I'm here for a reason. And, I always often tell my student workers and GAs, like, I want to do for y'all what was done for me. And that's paving a way. Because a lot of HBCU students, even though these schools were created for us, we go here, we get our degrees, we work hard, and we still don't get those opportunities. Unless someone like me, or, a male helping a male, or a male helping a woman helps you get there. It's all about who you know nowadays. It's not about what you know. So that's what I'm here to do. That's why I still work at HBCUs, because I know without the help that I got at my HBCU, I wouldn't be here where I am today.
And that's the frustrating piece, that, it's no longer about, what you know, it's who you know. And it's kind of been that way, but it seems like later and then now in times of today, it's more of the who you know, whether you have the accolades or not, right? And I thank you for sharing that. And for you being in sports, like, can you kind of background us and take us through that journey and what made you want to be a part of the sports culture?
So I actually ran track. I had ran track since I was 4 years old. I was
Okay. What you ran?
well, before I got to college, I ran everything. Whatever my coach put me in, he was like, "You're in it." But then by the time I got to like high school area, I was running, but I was on like relays, and then I mainly focused on jumping, long jump,
Oh,
because that's what I ended up getting a scholarship for is long jump and triple jump. So that
okay.
was my specialty. And once I got to Southern, well, let me back up even further than that. So when I was in high school, everyone doesn't know this, but I wanted to be an architect.
Mm.
Actually, the high school that I went to in Colorado, actually, they had a class specifically geared towards architecture. And I was sitting there one day and I was like, I really don't want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, look at your computer. And I was really good at math. That's what really did it. Like, I was really good at math. I was really good at with numbers and just, I love designing. I love, and that's where my love for producing comes in because I love to like look at stuff and be like, oh, okay, like we can do this, we can do that. One day I told my dad, I was like, I really don't want to be an architect anymore. He was like, well, you need to figure it out because you're about to graduate. So he said, think about what you know and what you love.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I know sports. And I guarantee you not, you can check my TVs at my house and my parents' house. Every time you turned on the TV, ESPN would come on. So, I mean, I'm talking. We're on our way home from church, and my dad has ESPN. You're watching the games. Like
Yeah.
my entire family is nothing. My grandma gets so upset during the holidays because that's all we watch is sports, sports, sports. She's like, "Can we put a Christmas movie on or something?" I'm like, "Grandma, you know where you at? Like, chill out."
That's
So
love.
so me, that's all I knew growing up. So that's what I knew. And I love sports. Like my brother was a linebacker. I love football. I know football. Like that's my number one sport. Then, it goes, a lot of people don't know this either, but I love baseball.
Who you like? What teams you wait, okay. You know what? After you're done, I'm gonna do a plug pause and then we're gonna go back to the end. But go ahead. You
Yeah,
like baseball. What else?
baseball, then basketball for me, and then every other sport kind of trickles down. But so just thinking about what I know and what I love, I was like, well, I love sports. So both of my parents actually majored in mass communications. They just didn't pursue it once they graduated. So I made a vow. I said, I'm gonna major in mass communications, and my career is gonna be in what I got a degree in, and it is. So that's how I got to sports. So when I got to college, ran track. My deputy AD at the time, Travion Scott, he's the AD at Grambling now. Actually, I was like, man, I need to get hooked up with like the something department in athletics. Like, what y'all got? He was like, well, you need to get with Chris. That was my boss at the time, sports information. So I was like, all right. So my senior year, I actually had an internship at one of the news stations this summer before my senior year. I stayed in Baton Rouge, worked news station, sports information department at Southern. And then from there, it just took off. Student worker that year, my senior year, went back, got my master's, worked with them, was a GA. And then actually in the middle of getting my master's, my boss left and they promoted me to associate sports information director at Southern. So it's like, all right, cool. I'm getting my opportunity, show them what I was made of. And then COVID hit. So I was like, dang. So then I was just like, everyone was at home just being bored. So I was just
crazy.
Right. So I was just online looking for a job. Like, what's my next opportunity? Being a director. So I was looking at director jobs. When I tell you, I had to apply for probably about 50 jobs and didn't even know it because I was in Atlanta. I was visiting my best friend, and a number from West Virginia called me, and I was like, okay,
state.
Right. So I answered, and my mentor, still my mentor today, Felicia Oaks, she was like, hey, like,
shout out to Felicia.
Shout out to Felicia Oaks. She was like, we want to, set up an interview. Interviewed over the phone. Like of course, it was still COVID, so interviewed over the phone, virtual interview. I think like days later, she was like, "You got the job." I moved to Bluefield, West Virginia. So that's how
you moved to the mountains.
I moved to the mountains, and when I tell you, everyone thought I was crazy because not only was it was an area I've never known, like My cousins lived in Virginia, but I never visited them.
Yeah.
Didn't really have family in Virginia until they had moved their families. My dad's from New Jersey. That's the furthest I went east, like East Coast wise.
Okay.
So Virginia, West Virginia was new for me. So I got there. Everyone thought I was crazy because I moved in the middle of a pandemic. And I was just like, okay, well, this is fun.
This is fun.
And I had never lived on my own. Like, that was my first time living on my own. I had my first big girl job, and I went into it. I said, this is my stepping stone. And shout out to my AD. Yeah, shout out to my AD at the time, Derek Price. He's the senior associate AD now at Hampton. So it's just like, I shout out those people because they're the ones who gave me my opportunity. And I'll never forget that. Even Roman Banks, I can't forget him. He gave me opportunity at Southern, even though I wasn't the director. He promoted me, and he let me get that experience while I was still in grad school. So that's, taking a chance on me. I appreciate those people forever, because I definitely wouldn't be here today. Chris, that was my boss. To this day, I say he taught me everything, the basics really about sports information, and it's evolved since then. Absolutely. Obviously, but I've definitely had to teach myself a lot, but I definitely learned a lot from him, and I'll never forget that. So that's kind of how I got into sports. Still in it, probably not going anywhere, but
no, you're not. You're not. Ain't no probably. You're not. So
yeah.
So one, definitely big ups and to all of the individuals that you named that helped you along the way, because that's all we need is just an opportunity. All we need in life is for someone to give us an opportunity for us to showcase exactly what it is, our skill set, and what it is that we can do to aid, assist, and grow in ourselves. So big ups to everyone that gave you an opportunity, because that's something that we need in today's world climate, and the way that things are transpiring around us. And the pause that I wanted to make was because, so y'all got a fun fact from Tiana, and I ain't even asked her a fun fact yet that nobody else knew. She said she wanted to be an architect. Let's just put that out there, right? Because I don't know how many of y'all knew that. I didn't know that, right? So then the other thing is, you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's football, baseball, basketball.
Yes.
And you want to know what's crazy? That's my order. That's my order too. I'm everything Pittsburgh. We ain't have a basketball team in Pittsburgh, so it was football, baseball, and basketball was just entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this. I don't know if I think you said it, but I'm just going to ask you again. If you can let the viewers and listeners know, where are you from?
I was born. Let me make it fun. A lot of people who may see this, she's not from there. I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My roots are from Baton Rouge. My mom, born and raised there. All her family, my mama, my uncles, my aunts still live there. So roots from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'll always claim them. I was raised in Colorado. So
okay.
That's how I became a Broncos fan, because I was raised in Colorado.
Dang, you was doing so well.
You were doing so well.
I mean, you was doing so well. We were vibing.
I know.
And I was just about to ask you, what is your favorite NFL team? Out the window. Yeah, I'll play. You know what? It's okay. I don't have no issues with them. Terrell Davis. The Elways, the Attwaters. I'm a fan of the old Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp, he was on.
Yeah, Club Shay Shay. Yeah, he was out there too before it was Club Shay Shay. Right. Okay, so last question I wanted to ask, or last icebreaker, I guess I can say. What is your favorite travel destination or dream destination you'd like to go to?
Ooh, Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos. I really want to. That was supposed to be my next trip. Come when I get my next vacation, but everyone's decided to go to Cabo, I guess. I don't know, but go to Turks and Caicos. It just looks so beautiful. Matter of fact, I kind of want to take that back. The Maldives. Okay. It's between those two, but both look like,
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Yeah, I can definitely see Turks and Caicos water. My best friend just came back from there. I'm jealous.
I mean, one of my GA, she went there this summer, and I'm just like, dang, did you have fun at least?
So, what challenges have you experienced? Any challenges that you've had to overcome during this process?
Yes.
Mm,
And this is me speaking for me.
yeah,
I can't speak for every woman, every person who's been in athletics or just sports, period. But
absolutely.
for me, personally, I started my career very young. Um, I think I was 24, 20,
Okay.
maybe 23. And I turned 24 right when I got the opportunity. So I think I was 23. So being young, being black, and being
Yeah.
those are three off top that
Those
just
are three strikes that normally is against you.
every time. And it doesn't matter. So I can tell you it's gotten a lot better, but
Okay.
there's still challenges,
Yeah.
just even working here at Dell State, everybody I work with, whether it's in my department or outside my department, is older than me. There might be like one or two people who are either younger than me or right on my level, or just maybe like in their 30s, because I'm not in my 30s yet. But it's just a challenge because I'm often asked, or they question, oh, and it's not saying that they don't have the right to, because some people just don't know what we do in athletics, so they'll ask
Absolutely.
questions. Or it's just people looking at me like she looks kind of young. And I can tell you where I really get it from. It's not in my workplace; it's when I go to other places.
And I was about to ask you, I'm pretty sure because your campus know who you are,
Yeah,
right? It's advertised, it's broadcasted, it's known, it's plastered on the website, it's plastered on the TVs at school. But I'm pretty sure when you go to other universities, they're looking at you like, wait, who are you? Are
yeah.
you a
There's
student?
right. No, seriously. Or, you know, it's just a lot of like, we didn't expect you.
Mm,
They'll talk to me on the phone or they'll email me. And then if I travel with my teams, it's kind of like they have to do a double take, or, and I won't name the school. But I'll tell you about my experience.
was
So
it this year?
yes,
I can guess who it is.
I'm sure
I
you can.
I can guess who I
That's
can
why
guess who it is. Well, I just want to ask this. I just want to ask this question. Is
yeah,
it in the same area?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jesus be offense.
Be a fence. And I
Mm,
I had to go. I had to call on them several times while I was there, because I
mm.
believed it, but I couldn't. I said, we're in 2025 and people still acting like this.
Jesus.
And it's crazy because people warn me. People like, up there, they a little, and I get it. I know where I was
Yeah.
at. I went to predominantly white schools my entire life until I got to college. It doesn't bother me, but what bothers me is you try to downplay my role and we're in the same role.
Hard to get back, I can tell you that. So we'll see who's back and who practices on Wednesday. I don't really want to comment on any individual guys per se, and looking forward to it.
You said you anticipated not playing this week.
Same answer.
John, I know there's a lot that goes into it, but what was your biggest takeaway from the bye week in your time, taking a look at everything that you're bringing with you immediately into this
Well, I
week?
mean, yeah, that's a great question. It's an exhaustive type of a review, you know, and you do it as you go, then you get a chance to kind of step back and you really dig in on different kind of reports and analysis and film study. You try to build in where you want to go going forward. I mean, it's a real opportunity, and we try to make the most of it. Really every year, we really tried to make the most of it again this year, and I feel really good about what we did. I feel great about what we accomplished. A lot of hard work, a lot of discernment, judgment, choices, things that you have to kind of decide what direction you want to go, what's best for us going forward, and we can maximize and play our best football, really. And that's I'm really pleased with where we're at. Now we've got to go put it into action. So the opportunity in front of us is great, and we've got the people for the job. We've got everything we need. We've got to go get started this week.
John, Tavis Robinson has given you a lot of snaps, and now you've lost that. How do you go about replacing that, and do you anticipate elevating one of those practice squad edge guys?
Yeah, that's a possibility. We'll have to see as the week goes on in terms of personnel groups, whether we feel like we have to do that or not. You can pick it up other ways too, other guys, versatile players. The bigger guys can go out, the smaller guys can come down. You could do it that way too, so we'll have to see what we do, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. And those guys are doing a nice job in the practice squad as well, so that's going to be an important factor for us on defense is filling those reps up, because Tavius is a real physical edge player, a real hard playing guy. And we're going to need that. We're going to need that to be no drop off in those reps that they're taking.
John, the Bears are on a good run. What have you seen from them in particular that makes them so formidable?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done a nice job playing, winning football. They've started to get a feel offensively. They've scored some points, and the defense is playing better and better. So,
John, you saw Roquan back, obviously. How much kind of ramp is you got to need much ramp up time? I know you're not telling me specific, but secondly, how much of a boost would that be?
well, yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, in this league, it's a players' league. And I think back to Clarence Brooks. He said it's always been a players' game, and it always will be a players' game. That's never going to change, and that's really the truth. So having your players on the field is important, and a player like that, like Rowe, or a player like anybody else, all the other guys, the guys that came back after, you see the difference it made, between the week before and last week. So it's a big boost.
All right, before y'all say something, I want to say I apologize
for leaving early. I respect y'all jobs and I respect what y'all do, so it won't happen again. Appreciate y'all. But we good now. I'm ready to go.
Zay, I mean, from that last game, this is the first time we've gotten a chance to talk to you since that last game. I know those are probably a tough place to look at. I mean, what do you kind of see on tape and what goes into making sure some of those fumbles don't happen again?
Oh no! Oh, y'all thought you were handing it to me. But I think I lock in a little bit more. You know, like the first one, I was trying to make a play. The second one, I just mishandled the ball. So ain't really too much to think about. You just got to hold the ball.
Is there kind of an adjustment, especially with handoffs with Cooper and learning the measurements?
No, like it ain't really no difference. You just getting the ball. So it ain't really no difference. It was on me, so I could take that.
Zay, you talk about trying to make a play. I mean, I know that's always the case, but in the case of that game, like Lamar's out, you guys are struggling to score. Does it feel the need to make a play? Does it feel that much bigger? Like you got to try to make something happen?
Absolutely, because I feel like we wasn't moving it that well, so trying to make something happen.
Zay, with an opportunity to reflect on the bye week, what did you take away, and what's your focus moving forward?
Get healthy and let's go win the next one.
It was obviously a frustrating start for you guys. How much can the bye week kind of serve as almost a mental, not just a physical to get guys back, but a mental reset for this stretch of games?
Like you said, like we all needed a mental reset, and we're ready to come back out swinging, and we're gonna try to make an example out of this first game.
Zay, I mean, even though Lamar's been out the past few games, and obviously that's a huge injury to overcome, do you still feel like this offense is better than it's shown itself to be in the last, certainly the first 6 games, but especially the last 2?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because we still got pieces all around the field. We just got to put it all together, and it's tough when you're missing your starting quarterback, but we still got all our pieces that we, you know what I mean, so we got everything we need. We just got to put it all together.
Almost like a mental reset. How much do you think the team needed by not just to get healthy, but to sort of regroup?
I don't know if it was a mental reset. I think it was a health reset. I think for some of the guys that are banged up, it seemed like we had most of those guys back practicing during the bye week and today. So I think it was a good time to get some guys back healthy and get ready for the second half of the season.
Marlon, what do you think of the changes you guys implemented with Kyle moving to the nickel, you playing more on the outside? Your impression of that, and how do you think that can help the defense moving forward?
I guess I could, the honest answer is we still lost, so I don't really know what it really did. The objective is to win, so I could say, it was this, it looked like this, like this, but the result was still a loss, so we're still, I think, trying to figure out what we can do going forward to hopefully win some games and kind of get the stink up off everybody.
Marlon, Zach Ward said that he thought you guys played with the most intensity you've played all year against the Rams. Week 1, you thought maybe this defense wasn't mature enough. Do you feel like you guys have had to mature quickly or gotten to where you hope to be or want to be at this point?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember when I said the mature thing. I was saying what Coach Harbaugh said. Yeah. And then I get a report sent to me that I said we weren't mature, and so I don't know which one of y'all just put that out there. But that was not my quote. That was a quote I was putting out there. So I can't really speak on that. I was just speaking on the quote that was said to us. So that would be a Harbaugh question.
Marlon, what do you feel like you guys have to do to start playing more consistent winning football on both sides?
Yeah, I've kind of given up on what we need to do. I'm putting all that in the coaches' hands. The coaches give us what we need to do, and we try to go from there. Biggest thing I'm trying to do is just to do my job, do my assignment, and kind of do my own independent studies, take what I have, take what the coaches have, try to go there Sunday, be the best version of myself, help the guys in whatever way I can. But to give the answer, I think we all been trying to figure that out for, really 5 games straight, however many we've lost. And so we're still searching for that. Hopefully we'll kind of figure out some things and get some wins.
How much of a reset was the bye week for you, either physically and or mentally?
Yeah, no, the bye week was awesome. I think it came at a right time for us as a team, for myself as well. getting back healthy, and then just like redialing our focus and just knowing, the plans and like the plan on where we want to go, and doing that and getting back healthy. So it's major for us for sure.
Bro, when did the hamstring issue crop up in the game, and was it something you had been dealing with that got worse, or was it sort of sudden?
I felt it. It was a little, but at the end of the day, it happened. So I'm not really dwelling on the past at all right now. I'm more so focused on going out and being the best version of myself moving forward. Can't really think about when something was happening. It happened, so it's over with now.
Do you think you'll play Sunday?
Yeah.
How have you kind of watched Teddy and Trent kind of take on a lot of that responsibility, and how have you tried to help them out the past few games?
Yeah, man, those guys, I think their roles grew tremendous. Like, obviously, when I went down, and like the way those guys took it amongst themselves to actually be the best version of themselves, raising their standard of preparation, and just being the guys that the guys looked up to get the communication out. I thought those guys did an unbelievable job just in their role and with their experience. So hats off to those guys, and they're just going to continue to get better.
What do you feel like the vibe was today in practice with your return, and kind of the hope that you're going to get some other guys back in this game too?
Yeah, no, it was an awesome vibe out there today. I feel like everyone is refreshed, regenerated, and everyone is feeling, exactly what we know we need to feel in order to be the best version of ourselves. So that's what it's about, and going out and doing that. And I felt like the energy was really great at practice. Guys was dialed in, locked in, not many mental mistakes or even physical mistakes for that matter. And I'm feeling really confident, so very excited to see that. And it's also a sign of confidence as well.
Roquan, is there any sentimentality for you going up against the Bears?
I'm excited about the matchup for sure. Haven't gotten a chance to play Chicago since I've been here. Grateful for all of my time in Chicago. A lot of amazing people over there. Got a tremendous amount of respect. But obviously, it's the team that's on the schedule, and every team on the schedule has to get dealt with accordingly. You have to be the best version of yourself week in and week out, and it happened to be the Bears. So obviously, I have probably a lot of friends and family and stuff that'll be in, but it's about me doing my job to the best of my ability and showing the world exactly who I am.
Roquan, we've heard a lot of the guys say that they believe that this team can turn it around. From your perspective, what is it about this team, this group of guys, that makes that realistic?
I know each and every guy that's in this locker room, at least to the degree that I know them, and I feel like that degree is deep enough to know the mindset and how optimistic each and every guys are in this locker room. I feel like we're all internal optimists, and when you think about it from like that perspective, it's like we know exactly what we have to do, and it's about going out and doing it. And like I reiterated to the guys throughout the week and at the back end of last week, it's about locking your jaw and having that mindset of like, hey, it's gonna go down by any means, and you gotta be there and be willing to put your face in the fan every given play. And all that takes is you doing your job to the best of your ability, 100 miles an hour. And when you do that, great things are happening. We'll love the results. So that's what it's all about, and it's just getting back to the basics and being ourselves. But I'm confident, and I know exactly each and every guy that's in this locker room and who I am as well, and just excited to show after this bye how rejuvenated we are and how we're ready to unleash and show exactly who we are. And because we haven't showed that quite, and we obviously know that, but it's not about what's happened in the past, it's more so about what's happening in the future. And there's been many great stories, and there's going to be another one coming soon, but obviously it's one game at a time, and it starts this coming week.
All right, guys, we can get rolling. I think the big topic, what I would hit with you and what I also hit with the team, injuries are not the reason that we lost. Others may talk about who we did have and didn't have today, and I'm here to say it doesn't matter who you have or who is out when you don't give yourself a real chance at it. From turnover margin to penalties to missed tackles and drops, Dallas beat us, and we beat ourselves as well. And we're the ones that got ourselves into the hole. We're the same ones that got to dig ourselves out. But make no mistake, we're not playing to the standard we've set. And like I said, dug ourselves into it. And so we're the only ones that will dig ourselves out. I'm sure you guys got questions regarding Jaden. He definitely wanted it back in. He'll get an MRI on his hamstring tomorrow. So I'll have a better update for you when I visit with you guys in the afternoon. I just don't want to say one way or another and not give you accurate info on that. So I wanted to make sure I was clear as we begin. But lots to dig into, and we play again in 8 days. We got a lot of things to get better at, and we're going to work our ass off to do that.
Dan, with those big plays keep happening, how frustrating, and first of all, why, I guess, and then, but just how frustrating is it that game after game they keep happening?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. We're going to look at everything, man. We are going to look at everything to, have a play that goes down the field and you throw over your head or a good battle. Like I can live with that one, but the ones of the big explosive plays that I can't put my finger on, that's a lot for us to dig into. If I had one specific reason, I'd say this or this, but yeah, we got, like I said, a lot to get better at, and it's definitely frustrating.
And with Jaden, could he, if the score was closer, would he have gone back in? Did the score have anything to do with him staying out?
No, he definitely wanted to come back, but like I said, I'll have a better sense for you guys for tomorrow. I would just be, guessing, and I don't want to do that. I'll give you updates as soon as I can.
When you look at guys and go, let me make a move here, a change here to see if somebody else can do something different, better?
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's what I want to dig into to find and look at. That's all things. To have a performance like that, Chick, I think that's fair to dig in and say, all right, what are the things that need to be different, and what are the things that need to continue to improve upon, and in 8 days we play again, and it has to be better, man. That's my message, and so the adjustments, the changes of things that we'll make, that's what I plan on doing.
When you just look at the collective over these last few weeks for the defense, is it execution, scheme, is it coaching? What in your mind is the biggest issue there?
Yeah, I wish I could have one thing, because I would say, okay, it's that. And so I think you probably heard me say it over the last year and a half, execution is players and coaches. And so that's what we'll dial into to find, are we putting the guys in the right spot? Are we, digging into the right locations? Like as a coach, you always look, all right, what's the right amount? What's too much? So we got a lot to look into. To have an extra day to go, a good bit of it's going to be about us before we even begin our preparation on Kansas City. 8 days from now, we got a lot of things to improve upon. And that's also why I said it at the beginning, the injuries are not the reason we lost. If you don't give yourself a real shot at things, to play it right, it just, you can't give yourself a good game doing that.
When the score got sort of out of hand in the second half, what were the players' mindset from your?
I like the group. I'm asking them to look at themselves. Where are we at? What do they need to do better? Same thing with the coaches. But it's got to come from ourselves first. But yeah, there certainly wasn't a spot on effort or that kind of thing. But in terms of execution and playing to the standard that we want, we're far below those standards that we've set for ourselves.
Seeing Jaden go down, sort of what's your reaction? What kind of goes through your mind then?
Yeah, it's tough. He's been battling all year, and I know that can be very frustrating. So, yeah, just trying to process all that, and then for me, just try to go out there and play. Make a play here and there, and try to bring a spark as much as I could. And at the end of the day, it just wasn't good enough.
Obviously, you have to come in that situation, but when the receivers are kind of in and out and all that, how hard is it for quarterback and offense to find a rhythm when you're playing with new guys and your stars are out and maybe guys you haven't worked with much?
At the end of the day, we're all professional football players, and given the opportunity, we got to make some plays. So we didn't execute the way that we wanted to. especially in some of these critical situations. But I thought we did move the ball for the most part. But at the end of the day, when you're not executing and this game is tight with the margins, it's tough, and we just didn't do enough.
Are you surprised at all the team is where it's at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. But at the end of the day, like, professional football is hard, and it's hard to win in this league. And for us, I think this is a great learning tool. And the more that we can dust ourselves off and get ready for the next one, that's all you can do. And given the opportunity, we'll just find a way.
What was Dan's message to you guys after the game?
Yeah, it really wasn't us. And I think I thought he hit it on the nail, to be honest with you. And when, for a good amount of time, when we've played as well as we've played, and then you kind of hit a little bit of a lull, you do feel like you get punched in the face a little bit. And I think that was kind of his message, is like, okay, how are we going to respond? And I believe in the guys in the locker room. I full-heartedly know that we'll respond the right way, and we'll get back to work.
Marcus, what happened on the pick six?
Trying to make a play. I mean, you come into the game and, just with where it was, and probably could have thrown it away, at that point in time. But I thought I saw J-Mac open in the flat. Got hit as I threw, and just didn't get all the way over there, and guy made a play on it. So I think for me personally, like, when you come into the game at that point in time, like, that's kind of just the part of doing business. Like, you're just gonna try to make a play and give a spark, and unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to.
Do guys come out of this game like mad, frustrated, upset, embarrassed? What's the feeling?
Yeah, I think you feel all of those feelings. You feel all those emotions, and I don't think it's healthy to try to suppress it. I think it's good and healthy for us to be able to sit there and, okay, this is where we're at. This is what it looks like. And the more that we can come to terms with, okay, this is how we're going to fix it, and not point the finger at each other and try to blame one another for it. Like, at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and we're going to figure out a way to do it and make it right. And like I said, I firmly believe in the guys in the locker room. I believe in the culture that DQ's built here. And the more that we can come together and the more that we'll figure this whole thing out together, I think we'll be just fine.
You and James are so close. After a game like that, and then he gets injured, do you say anything to him? What's that conversation like?
Well, I think being in his situation, and you get tired of everyone asking you, like, hey, you good? Are you all right? And so for me, like, I'm more like, hey, how's your mental, bro? Because I know it's not easy. I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating. And the more that we can support him in the quarterback room and help him through what he's going through, I think it's better for the entire organization. So I understand it's frustrating. I'll do my best, whether it's me, whether it's him, whoever it may be. We're going to just put our best foot forward. But, for us right now, it's just supporting him and making sure that he's good.
It was a tough watch. But hey, we're here. We're gonna go ahead and get started and jump right on in, because as you all, those of you all who have been on the show before, I go through clips and questions. Well, Lay has sent me some great questions. A Commanders fan, Lamar Bland, has sent me some great questions. So I'm going to get to as many as I can of their questions. Some of their questions are probably you all's questions as well, and then we're going to get into some of these clips. Yes, Paul, we try to be as much as possible. Well, Lay won't come back to the press box. 1340, but hey, listen, everybody has their position and role in life.
Exactly.
So everybody has to know where they're most effective. So it's all good. If you all are watching on Facebook, make sure like, love, all that. Hit all the wherever you're watching from. Hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. We do super chats and super thanks and all that good stuff too. So let's go on and get on into this live discussion. What's your one word, y'all? We like to play this game, and some weeks it's better playing this game than others. What's your one word to describe how you felt after the Washington Commanders went down to the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington, Texas, 44-22. Go ahead and drop in the chat how you all were feeling, and we will try to acknowledge those one words. Well, Lay, what was your one word?
Mine, well, Cam has defeated like that.
Mhm.
Paul has Hollywood. For me, nasty. Nasty. just nasty.
Oh man, I see what you said. Disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think at what point. It was definitely at a point. Everybody got words like cooked, disgusted, frustrated.
Fired, dejected.
Yeah, cooked this up here. Yeah, it wasn't good. I probably held on to like around halftime or maybe a little bit after. Maybe, because I don't know what I was doing. Lake and I were supposed to go get some food in Jerry's World in the press box. And as soon as I don't even know what happened. It was before the Marcus Mariota pick six. I would tell you.
Before the pick six, yeah.
Before the pick six, I kind of got up and took a walk in the press box. Walk around the press box. And as I was standing up, like watching the game, when the pick six happened, and then I just kind of checked out a little bit. Like, wow, okay, we got to deal with this. And unfortunately, it was a chance that we were going to have to deal with this. I mean, that was something we talked about on the pregame show, all burgundy and gold, everything.
Yeah.
I'm on with Wole and George and Glenn an hour before game time. And I said it. I said, this could be a bad day. I said, the stage is set here. It is homecoming weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. There were a ton of Dallas Cowboys legends in the building that anybody would have been starstruck over, right? So the stage was set, the vibe was set, and I was like, they need a win bad in this building. Why not do it in front of their legends?
Yeah.
And so it was prepped and primed for them to show, improve, or look like they weren't as bad as the numbers were saying that they were, at least on defense. We talked about how well Dak Prescott has been playing this season. Yesterday was no different. And it was, one of those things where it made the Dallas Cowboys defense look alive.
Yeah.
Like, and that was one of the things we talked about on pregame too. This could easily be a get right game for the Dallas Cowboys defense, or at least appear to be. We knew that the Dallas Cowboys offense would be dangerous. We knew we knew it could be a bad day. I said it's one of the things that we're going to see. We're going to see Marshawn Lattimore and George Pickens match up, but I was very direct and blunt, and for good reason, of saying that is not a matchup I want to see. We're going to see it, but I wish somebody would do something so we wouldn't have to see it, like do something different. But we knew that there wasn't going to be anything done different. And so, and that was kind of a shady shot, but I just but you just knew that wasn't going to be the case. And it's just, I get what everybody is saying, but we have to want to play some clips of what the coaches are saying, because much of what it gets addressed, and we did this last week, so I hope you all enjoyed the exercise of listening to the clips, watching the clips, going through that, and then getting into based on what we saw. Well, they see. Do you have anything to add? Because I feel like we got to jump into clips now. We're not going to jump into that clip or anything like that. We're going to jump. We have that clip.
Yeah.
But
I think you should start with that. Well, don't you want to start with that clip? Because I mean, that's what the people. Do you want to?
Okay, so the people want my clip first.
Yeah, they look. They want to. They look. You can't hold on when people.
Okay, so I'll play. Yeah. We got to move around a little bit on this one. Which is fine, which is cool.
Mhm.
You know, we kind of have some. I'm trying to think. Okay, we got it. I'm gonna play my clip first,
Yeah.
and then we'll work backwards. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, we can play my clip as well as 2 clips from Marcus Mariota in
Okay.
his press conference, and then we'll work backwards from that.
Sounds
Right?
good.
Really be using our clues and getting to the receipt. So let's go ahead and start there.
Yes, Steve.
Hey, Coach, were there any moments today where you kind of said, I'm going to call plays or I'm going to make a decision on what's next or what we do next? Does that happen?
No, I'm on the headsets on all phases and talking through ideas and discussions, game management, all of it. So I'm pretty talkative all the way throughout. Offensively, when we would go, when we wouldn't on some of the fourth downs, defensively, third downs, and some of the ideas to go. But like I said, when performances are like that, that's you dig in and you find answers, and that's what I intend on doing.
So, yes, I asked that question. I mean, I have a list of questions. I've shared this with you all before. I have a list of questions. I go through, okay, what makes sense? I have to go through, okay, what are some of my colleagues already asked? What's something I need to know right now versus, what's going to help me do my job
Of
well?
course.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what I got to do. And I already knew going into this game, and it's something, if you know Donna Hopkins, you can tag her because of our trap. So the theory is over.
Yeah.
The superstition theory
It's
is
over.
done.
And then
It's
okay.
done. Because that was last season. It was
Yeah.
whenever we had a rough travel day, the
Uh-huh.
Commanders would win, and we would make a joke like, "We're going through all this. The Commanders must go win."
Okay.
We just gonna win, and that didn't even happen. And so I knew, and I shared this. I said, "Listen, if this doesn't go well, we gotta do our job. We gotta do this."
Mm-hmm. I do have a
Okay.
question. I do have a question for you though, and
Yeah.
it's about like what obviously, like that's the I've been in those rooms. I know people don't want to ask that type
Yeah.
of question,
No.
obviously. So what came through? What went through your thought process before asking that question? Because again, a lot of times, especially which I feel like this environment is different from the prior regime, because a lot of folks, they adore the coaching staff. They adore everybody there because they're really good people. For what everybody's told me the same thing. So I'm only gonna, the people that I trust, they say the same thing. So what went through your mind before, like, kind of going about that question?
It was a risk. I mean,
Mhm.
it was a risk.
Mhm.
I absolutely adore everybody in there. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
gas y'all.
Yeah.
And you have to. It's sometimes it's not about asking a question, it's about how you ask the question.
True. Very true.
And it wasn't about, are you going to take over play calling? But it was like legit being very literal. Was there a moment
Mm-hmm.
where you did or you considered it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was so hurt.
Yeah.
Like I felt I mean, you know me, I'm an
Yeah.
energy person. I felt
Yeah.
his energy anyway, but
Yeah.
even in the press conference, there was moments where he had to take a deep breath
Mm.
before he answered something, or he had to really think about something.
Yeah.
He is very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not it. Like
Yeah.
this is just not it. And it's swarming, right? I've asked questions about collaborative decision making, right? I think we
Mhm.
talked about that last week about, I asked for an example of what collaborative decision making looks like on game day,
Mhm.
right? Certain players' performance on game day, what they bring on the field on game day. Because now it's like, really wanting to understand the game day process,
Mm-hmm.
processing, and he answered it. I
Yeah.
appreciated
He
his
did.
answer.
That's what I'm
He
saying. He
answered,
did.
he answered, he's on the headset, he's talking. I just asked the question because it was, did you? Because it's like, what fire left? Not fire as in fire someone. When I
Yeah.
mean
I know
fire,
what you
I
mean.
mean the house is on fire. Like
Yeah.
somebody go get the extinguisher.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
how when you got to say, all right, and I see this, and now I'm making this decision, do this.
Yeah.
But you also understand you don't want to be reactive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's a tough balance. I mean, a head coach of any team, a coach of any team, well, like, you know, I've had this conversation
Yeah.
many times about coaching and coach, but I had to make a choice. I had to make a risk. What do I really need to know in order for me to do my job well, to really understand the state